All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live with Stella Mwakie, multi-talented person, and we have her here today on board. We're going to be discussing natural birth, and we're going to be talking about giving birth at home. So please leave respectful comments in the comment section. Karibu sana. We gather here to speak, to remember, to question, to build. Just stories in the shade, truth in every tongue, and courage passed hand to hand. This is where the elders spoke. This is where the rebels whispered. This is where dreamers still return. It's the people's tree. From your hearts to the microphones on your devices, this is Chini ya Mti. Under the tree. Karibu sana, Stella. It's been some time since we knew each other, COVID-19. You are not yet a mom. So, who is Stella?
Asante sana, Jeremiah. Thank you for this invitation to be in this
Karibu sana.
podcast.
Karibu sana.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. So, Stella Mwakie is now a mother, a DJ, and a digital and also in-person doula. So I help women to give birth naturally through mindset shift, and also through practices that enable women to empower themselves in the birthing process. So yeah, that's what I think mostly about. And also I'm a DJ. I curate events as well. I also do interior design, and I do a lot of things, but pretty much that's the basics.
Today we'll be talking about bringing life to this world. And you talked about being a doula. It's a word that I only heard when I got to that point. What's a doula?
A doula, many people actually think a doula is a midwife, someone who's been trained to help women to give birth. But actually, on the opposite, a doula is a woman who helps. It can be also a man, but I think most of the people are usually women. They are the mindset, the mental support, the ones who walk you the journey to the actual birthing process. So they prepare you through how you possibly eat your diet. They kind of like just help you to navigate through the pregnancy and the birthing process, so that when you're giving birth, you're already prepared you're not caught off guard by this new experience. So that's what a doula is a mental support for the woman who's pregnant.
Mental support and also preparedness, because I know that many people do not know. There is diapers, there are things
absolutely.
that you have to know that you would never know if you are your first time mom.
Absolutely, yeah. They kind of like give you that information. They equip you with that preparedness of what to expect to be a new mother.
Yeah, things like, a bed, side cot. I already forgot, but there are things like... what are this, like the clothes the child wears?
Rompers,
and then there's another one called there's this small one that I never forget, the one that's like a small trouser.
I think you're talking about a onesie. I don't know.
Onesies. Yes,
onesies. My goodness, those things, you need so many of them.
Yes,
because they just keep changing them often.
Yeah, and other things that we were talking about was, and quite honestly surprised me, was how fast these children grow when they're in this world. You have to be aware of what to buy and in what quantity, and what you can also borrow from someone, because sometimes you might buy socks this size and then 3 weeks later.
Yeah, in 3 weeks they're not relevant anymore. That's exactly, I think, what happens. Because I remember, like in my childhood times, I grew up in the village in Embu. That's where I was born.
Yeah.
I mean, people, I think, never used to buy clothes for kids. You'd have them passed down from other kids if you have brothers and sisters. So even though you use them, there's no worry of like outrunning it shortly. So people didn't used to buy. You'd like be given clothes. Zinapitishwa. And also, I also got to experience that in Mexico, where I joined this community of beautiful parents with kids. And we had like little gatherings where parents would bring in their outgrown kids' clothes. And you would pick what you need in that moment. It's like soccer, you just go pick and you also bring what you've outgrown. So you realize you don't even need to buy anything. You're always getting what you need in the moment. So that was amazing.
I think we'll first ask people to, share their thoughts. So please leave a comment because this is going to be a hot one. Mexico. Before then, you are doing music here in Nairobi, DJ during COVID times. And it was kind of different life at that time, playing electronic music. Tell me about that before you go to Mexico.
Well, my friend, let me tell you, this life is quite a fascinating journey. From the decks, party animal festivals, rolling life and just doing all the great things. And I was DJing. I became a DJ in 2020 during COVID. And I really enjoyed that whole journey of getting into the scene, into the industry, becoming now like, the DJ cliques and being in these good events. And life was good, it was amazing. And then one day in 2021, I met my beautiful partner, and we became pregnant in 2022 around February. And that's when the thought of traveling to Mexico came into the picture. And now this was a totally different, mind-blowing offer because
Experience as well.
and experience because actually I never thought of like ever going abroad to give birth. But this was my partner's suggestion because he was already into the spiritual practices and like into wellness and holistic living. So he knew that in Kenya we would not be supported to give birth at home.
Yeah.
Unless we travel, I don't know. I think Masai will also still practice home birth. I don't know in the villages, but yeah, we figured that we needed somewhere where we could be supported with that in that method of birthing at home. So Mexico came into the picture. We didn't even know where to go in Mexico. We didn't know anyone in Mexico, but here is a guy who just wants to go give birth in Mexico. And at that point, I also had a very intense, I would say, resistance, conflict with myself, because here I am, I've built my life in Kenya. I have settled, just the usual typical working class girl who has just got her life together. And now here's a man who just wants to come and take me to a country to give birth where I don't know anyone. So at that point, and I just started my DJing journey. Life was good. It was just getting good. And I had a conflict with myself, a lot of resistance. But due to the circumstances, I figured what was more important at this point was the birthing and this journey of our pregnancy. So I surrendered. I gave in to the whole concept idea, and I started dropping off that resistance. And like I was excited about the whole idea as much as when I shared it with my friends and my family. They thought, you're crazy, my friend. You're crazy. You just met a guy who you don't even haven't dated for a long time. And now you're pregnant and you want to go give birth in Mexico with him who you still don't know yet, and nobody in Mexico that you know there. So, hey, akajua msichana, you're crazy, wazimu. But at the end of the day, I knew how important it was for us. But the funny thing is, I see why I didn't even question this whole ideology of giving birth at home. First of all, it was such a new concept for me because being in Kenya, the way I've been born and raised, and I've seen and witnessed other friends and family members birthing experiences, I kind of was like, no, my friend, I'm not going through this. I'm not taking this direction. Pain, long labors, hospitals, you spend, I don't know, 2 nights, 2 days. Wow. For me, I had made this decision back in my youthful days that if I ever get pregnant, I just want to go to the hospital of my choice and just book an appointment. We schedule an appointment to when I'll come and have the baby removed from me without having to go through so much pain because my pain tolerance was very low.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so that's who I was, this person who never wanted to go through pain during birth and not even any kind of pain. And then here comes a man who suggests, now, actually, we need to go to Mexico to give birth at home with a midwife, not in a hospital. I'm like, wow, this is 0 to 100. Total shift. So I think why I didn't really much question that was because during COVID, it is when I also had started my spiritual journey, I would call it. And I had just started coming and into awareness, into alternative ways of even eating, lifestyle, yoga, meditation, and healthy diets, natural organic food. Not that I was much into it, but when I started dating my partner who was already into this kind of a scope, he kind of like started tuning me into that. So for the 3 months we dated, I shifted a lot, stopped using chemical lotions, cosmetics. We stopped eating like mostly like processed foods. So through that preparation, it kind of like it made it simple for me, easy for me to not resist this new alternative way of giving birth because at the end of the day, he made a lot of sense as to why the whole hospitalized process of birthing is sometimes very not organic in ways that we as women should be held and supported in giving birth. So it made kind of like give me some sort of awakening and light into thinking in different ways. So I didn't have much resistance, and to me also it was kind of an adventure. So yeah, I think that also helped because I'm Sagittarius, so I like adventure and travel. So for me, this was kind of like an exciting opportunity to give birth away from home and yeah, just to experience it. Wild, I know.
It's very wild. Just imagining going to a country where you know no one, with someone you just met recently, and also, of course, changing your lifestyle. And I know that natural birth is actually a complex issue because, not natural birth, home births, because, of course, of the medicalization of everything, the safety concerns that people have. But I've had many experiences where people also feel like they're being pressurized or induced before time. Maybe we'll come back to those. But I want to hear this Mexican journey because it's quite interesting. Tell me about your journey giving birth. And I'll just remove myself from this screen that people can see, your journey.
Hey, my journey. This one here, this photo was taken a few months before we traveled to Mexico, and it was in Taraca. We went to visit a friend in Meru, a good friend, Godi, and then he took us to his one of his beautiful lands in the Rakaniti. Oh my God, one of the most gorgeous natural places I've been to here in Kenya. Oh my goodness, raw beauty. They have big rivers with beaches. So yeah, we fell in love with this space he brought us, and we camped there for 2 nights. And we ended up taking some nice bomb shots, as you can see. Oh, I love this. So beautiful. And so, anyways, So my journey to Mexico, together with my partner, was quite fascinating. First of all, the whole visa process, my goodness. We almost thought that, you know what, maybe actually we cannot give birth in Mexico because the challenges we had to go through for the visa process were just, wow, immense. And remember now we are already prime for we're almost due for birth.
Yeah.
Because this was around September, and we only got a visa just a few weeks before birth. And also in when you're traveling, the airlines sometimes they don't expect over 34 weeks of pregnancy.
Yeah.
So we were in kind of a rush. And so fortunately, we managed to get the visa. So we're in a rush, we're running. We didn't even have time to do baby showers there. I was like, guys, I appreciate the thoughtfulness, but I cannot have baby shower because I can't even carry anything. At this point, we are moving our homes to Mexico. So we only needed to move with very little. And so we were rushing, and then I don't know whether I should be saying this, but we only had a few weeks remaining to birth. So even getting to Mexico, we didn't know where we would go to stay. We didn't have any house. And then so the funny thing, even how we knew at this point where we were going to in Mexico, before in Egypt, we traveled around in April and May, where I got amazing opportunities to DJ in festivals. I was so thrilled and excited for that opportunity. So we met 3 couples with small babies who had given birth in Mexico. So there was like, wow, divine alignment. So we got interested in that, and we asked them how that was and where they gave birth. So, and which happened actually, they all gave birth in the same location in Mexico, different couples in different meetings.
Wow.
So that was very strange and wow, super aligned. And so by this time, they shared with us the location and then the midwife contacts of the ones who assisted in the birth. And so at this point, at least we have a contact or midwife and a location we can go to and start looking for a house. Because Mexico is a big country. So that at least solved one of our puzzles. So we now book our flights. We are going to Mexico. We are already in touch with one of the midwives, and we are letting them that we are on the way coming. But then now when we're in Mexico City, we still haven't found a house because the place where we were going to, it was in the mountain region. So we would have to take another bus to the mountain side, but maybe 2 hours drive. So we get there, and then we're in the city just for a few days to land, and then move to a place where we can start looking for a house where we're gonna give birth. So, so anyway, long story short, luckily one of the contacts we got, she happened to know a family that was renting a small place. And automatically that suited our needs because it just fitted our budget. And we just traveled to the place. It's called Tepoztlan. It's the Aztec mountain side. And then we arrived in this place. We were given a contact. We told them we're interested in the house. We didn't see even any pictures. We just stopped there with a taxi and dropped off our things. And we haven't seen the house, but here we are and we are moving in. There's nowhere else to go. So we didn't even know whether we would like the house or not, but we're like, this is where we are moving in. So anyway, the funny part was it was such a beautiful home that, my goodness, I don't even believe how we were so lucky to have it. And so there we are. We arrive and still here we know nobody, but at least we have a landlord. And luckily, he happens to be a foreigner, so he speaks English. Mexico is a total Spanish country.
Mm-hmm.
So us being very blank on Spanish, it was a bit difficult to navigate because we had to translate the whole time. So, anyways, we arrive in this home, we settle in, and yeah, we start walking around. It was a walking distance, let's say maybe a bit around 20 minutes walk to the town to
Uh-huh.
at least buy some food stuff. And then guess what? We are just walking on the road, a pregnant woman, heavily pregnant, but they were so close to giving birth. This was only like 3 weeks to giving birth.
Uh-huh.
And we don't even have a midwife yet because the person we were given the contact for, she's a midwife from Spain, so she had traveled back home. So she could only like maybe suggest, refer someone else. So we got a contact, but we still hadn't met yet her. So we are walking on the road, dusty road, very village-like. And out of the blues, someone just walks by and shouts, Toto! Oh my goodness, out of the blues. We don't know anyone in this country with billions of people, and someone just shouts a name of my partner. So we look back and Toto just realizes this is someone who he knows from South Africa driving by the road, and we are just walking, and she gives us a lift. A lift
What?
in town. Oh my God. So this happened. She was the first contact of our landing in Mexico, like in person that we know, other than the landlord. And now she tells us of the little few things happening around. And since we have nothing else to do, we attend one. And then from that workshop attending,
Yeah.
I met a guy, we were talking, and then he saw I was pregnant. And then we mentioned that we're actually looking for a midwife, and he happens to be a friend to a midwife. And that's how we got our midwife. And we call our midwife, and first of all, she's like, hold up, hold up. You just arrived from Kenya, you're 3 weeks to giving birth. I'm not sure that's how it works. Because usually you need to meet the midwife before and you can have some form of like connection and relationship and maybe a few other things that you need to do before birth. So this was like, wow, a bit abrupt for her. And
Yeah.
she had just come back from Argentina, so she hasn't practiced birthing for over 5 years.
Oh
So
wow.
she hasn't, yeah, she's an elderly woman because we wanted an elderly midwife. We didn't want the new age young people. We wanted like an old Mexican indigenous woman. So, and yeah, that's what we got. And we really, really wanted it to be her, this lady we were referred to. She's called Kenna. That's how I got my name from my daughter.
Oh
And
wow.
then, yeah, she's called Kenna, but Anje Kenna means, I mean, in short form, a Mexican name short form.
I actually thought it's
So,
McKenna.
yes, it's McKenna, but her she's Kenna. So I figured maybe I can remove the ma and just keep the Kenna as is
And it
because it's
still
the same
works.
thing. Yeah, it means the same thing. So, and then now she says, oh, I'm sorry, I have not conducted any birthings for the last 5 years. I was practicing something else in spirituality. But here we are. We just want her to come and help us to facilitate this process. And how she was hesitant because, yeah, it's been a while and she needs to reconnect with that. And also, it's such a short timeline as well. But you know what? We just had one meeting with her and we spoke her through it. She was very resistant of it. But I think after she realized how confident we were,
In
then she gave in. She was like, okay, I'll do this. So, man, so we locked in a midwife. Then, midwife check, home check. Should I continue this story because it's
No, I think you
long?
should continue. We have time. I have never had such a fascinating story, and the fact that you are just getting everything like aligned to you, all the way from Kenya to Egypt to Mexico.
Man,
And how do you meet someone from South Africa who you don't know in
right.
Mexico?
And recognizes us from behind. Like, wow, that was super. For me, that was magic. Like, how did this happen? But anyway, grateful for that, because now after now starting to join the community, remember this is the first few days, like the first week. So we go to the market, and then in the market, I meet another Mexican woman. She's married to an Israeli, and she's fascinated by the Kenyan beauty queen, pregnant, stomach out there, walking in the streets of. There was no other black woman in that town. So she's so fascinated. She's a cloth designer. So she approaches me and she's so smiley and happy. I like you, so beautiful. And I would like you to like model in my clothes, so that be a model, like showcase her clothes. And so we exchanged numbers. I was excited to do that. And she's the one who actually invited us to another like market day. It's a small village, and things just happen like Monday to Friday. Friday is market for this. So we go to the market, and she introduces me to beautiful, gorgeous women, almost like, wow, surreal. Women with children, families, and others are, just small babies. So like the community there. So just a few, I think around 6 women. So I go, I'm excited, I introduce myself. And then guess what? In that moment.
Guess what?
In that moment, a lady, just from just her fascination and just out of care and concern, she offers with other women to hold a mother blessing, for because I was at this point 2 weeks to birth, close to 2 weeks to birth. And they decide that they would love to do this kind of a ritual for me. So it's a baby shower, but they call it a mother blessing. Because also, yes, that's exactly the one. That's the picture, this one, yes. That's what they did. Oh my God. And it's the most beautiful experience I personally have gone through in terms of being pampered and held in beautiful women's energy with their loving and care. I got like essential oil massages. They threw roses all over me. They sang like medicine, Spanish songs. Oh my God, true healers. I really, really felt so much love on this day. I was so mind blown. And good thing is, I also made like a mukimo for them. I remember Toto was like smashing it in the kitchen. So we made some Kenyan food. They brought in some food as well. Oh my God, I have never like experienced such a ritual like done by women with love, with tenderness, and with so much intention, I would say. And to me, and having experienced that for me was such a pleasure and an honor. And I'm so grateful because, as much as I really wished to have a baby shower in Kenya with my family and my friends, I still ended up getting something
So
sort of the
special.
same from different people totally that I didn't know. And I'm so grateful for these women, and I love them so much. They're still in my circles, and we are in different parts of the world. And such a beautiful people that I got to learn many ways of living as well as a new mother, and as a new way of being as a woman as well. They have like very interesting ceremonies. Oh my God! In Kenya, I totally know nothing in terms of intentional living. Like this, where they have like particular flowers. Like there's a gift I was gifted by one of these women, a peyote, and then another one was like a flower that when you're giving birth, when you get into labor, you put it in a in a glass or in a bowl of water. You place it there, and it starts opening. And when it's opening, it's also opening your cervix. So energetically, symbolically, this plant particularly is like in tune with the process of birth in the moment, because you put it in the water when you get into labor. So it kind of like opens the way your cervix is opening as well to allow for the birthing process. So this was very special. They had like also like ceremonies where now, this is after birth where you have a womb closing. So the midwife comes and with another person, and they do a particular ritual ceremony where they close your bones, they tie your belly, to close you energetically. It's so weird. I know people think it's witchcraft. No, it's not witchcraft. It's the way of living, the way our ancestors used to live back in the days and the things that they used to do. So for me, I really I was very fascinated by how these women were very intentional, so connected to nature. I never used anything synthetic for birthing. Everything afterwards was even the antibiotics we used, ignatia, which is a natural plant, a medicine that boosts your immunity. I was taking calendula, which is good for milk, and stinging nettle. Like they had all these like dried flowers and leaves and herbal teas that are supposed to help to boost your feelings, and just also kind of like help you through the whole kind of like new motherhood
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, I really got to learn a lot of alternative ways of living in connection with others and as well with nature and plants. So, and also
Crazy.
like,
Jesus.
yeah, food scents, they helped me to prepare my bathing space. So I learned a lot on like things that I need to do to shift and the atmosphere of the space. And also my partner also is very familiar with that kind of life. So he knew what to do, like bring aromas and candles. So my goodness, it almost felt like a sovereign birth experience. In my head, when he said Mexico, even him, he thought we are going to the mountains with shamans and elders drumming. That's actually why I said yes to going to give birth in Mexico, because wow, that sounds like an adventure
Make a mix.
with fire and people dancing. Possibly drinking from a calabash, my friend. But it was a bit far from that. My expectations were not met, but it was close to that. Because, yeah, we still ended up in the mountains, but there was no shamans and drummers. But the women were willing to come and drum when I was giving birth. But I think I was okay to just birth with my partner and the midwife.
Was it something that you had thought about before? Or of course, it's something that you didn't really, you can't say that's the expectation you had because you actually haven't heard about anyone who's experienced this before.
I mean, there are people who used to say, I think in my head, I just had a conclusion that, in Mexico, at home, I'm assuming it's somewhere in a forest, in a cabin. That's what I imagined. I didn't think it would be in a house, in a cozy kind of like a home. So that's what I had in my head. And even my partner thought the same. We would just have someone drumming, soft, rhythmic sounds, maybe with a flute, a whole experience. Usually it's possible, but I think maybe we were too late to maybe organize that. But yeah, we just ended up having it in this beautiful homestead of this doctor that we were lucky and blessed to come across. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's a journey that many would not even want to imagine because who travels when they are almost due and then go to a place they know no one, only to find people there and totally really like you're just going with the flow. And I think it's quite risky, I have to say that, but I think it's such an incredible story also for you being open to all those things. also when you are quite expectant. It's I have to say very openly, it's not the norm. It's trying to say it's not normal.
It's not normal. I would agree. Maybe to someone for sure, they might think this is out of the ordinary for someone just to be surrendered and in flow like that. And I have to actually admit and acknowledge that that's one of um, the things that actually helped me to have this magical experience of birthing, because I had a very amazing short birth, and it was very magical. And first of all is because of that flow state, that state of surrender, that state of not resisting, because birthing is about exactly the same. It's flow of energy, but usually most of the time most women are approaching it with fear and resistance. So for me, even to come to Mexico, to take that leap of faith and having a pregnancy that was so smooth, I didn't have any complications, I didn't go through any clinics. The whole time I was eating healthy, I was moving as much as I can. I would sometimes still do yoga. I was dancing a lot. As you can see, there's the last set that I did when we arrived in Mexico. I did my last set when I was pregnant. So I was very mobile. And I also walked a lot. I remember I almost gave birth in the streets when I was walking in this Day of the Dead, which is the Halloween day in Mexico, which was 2 days before I gave birth. Yeah, this is the last set that I did as a DJ, single, not not a mother DJ. So this was my transitioning set into motherhood.
It's actually on YouTube
So
for those who do not know. It's quite a fascinating video to watch, and you should watch it. Sorry, I cut you short. Continue.
no, it's perfect. And then so this is one of the things that really helped me to give birth naturally at home. That state of like being in surrender and just allowing and no fear. I didn't have any fear. Since 2020, I had a big awakening where I dropped all fear. And it was coming from watching conspiracies during that COVID time. There was a lot of people, talking about how the whole pandemic was kind of like, not very real. So at that point, I came across this guy. He's called David Icke. David Icke. He was speaking a lot on how there was a lot of fear being projected into the world during that time, and fear is lack of love. And for me, that statement totally shifted me from this state of like always being in fear, in worry of like this not knowing what's gonna happen. So something shifted, so I dropped all fear, and so approaching this whole experience, I was like, yeah, let's do it. Birthing the whole pregnancy journey was smooth, amazing, and it's possible because it's all about mindset. Because the moment you don't have any like obstructions or like why you should not do something, then there's no reason to not do it. So I think that's the approach, the mindset that I took with me even into the birthing experience. And I ended up having the most amazing, amazing birthing experience. And I've shared that in my Ecstatic Birthing Masterclass, which I put together. So if you go to www.ecstaticbirthing.com, you will find the masterclass there, and I've put together every detail, every information on how I came to shift from fear to trust, and also the things that you need to prepare yourself to have an orgasmic birth, because it's all about surrender, and the mindset plays a lot. Your mindset, oh my goodness, I can say 90% of having a fearless, empowered, and painless birth is the mindset.
I think
Forget even
I think
about the
I'll hold you
body.
back there because I think this is so important. Before we get to the mindset, because we'll go to another section where we will be discussing, what you're doing and what you learned and what you're sharing from that. From the day you played this set, walking into labor, maybe walk us through the entire process of giving birth.
Oh, so let me tell you. First of all, birthing, for me, I remember I manifested from the moment I became pregnant, I manifested that I wanted to have a painless birth. I remember sharing this with my sister, who has already 3 kids now, expecting her 4th. And she was like, yeah, sure, painless, my friend. Wait until you get there. So it was more of like a warning in advance. But to me, in my heart, I knew that maybe I'm not talking about the pain-free, but I wanted to experience in the pain in ways that my body could manage it. I didn't want to feel the pain. I just wanted to experience the pain differently. So I manifested that. So anyway, on the due date, now here in Mexico, on the due date, I remember waking up in the morning. This was on a Saturday, and I just the usual go to the bathroom for usual short call. And it's at that point when I felt a little bit like crampy. And I figured since this was my due date, because usually you expect it, you already know. You're at that point as a woman, you're like, you're counting days. Every day is like, wow, it matters. So on this due date, I was aware, and yeah, I happened to have very mild cramps, and I just sit down and I assess it. I assess how I'm feeling, and then 10 minutes later, it comes back again. And remember, now we're just still relaxed because you see, sometimes when you get into labor, the way we've gone through it before generations,
Yeah.
like when you start labor, it's a long process before the baby actually comes. So that's exactly also what we were expecting, that we weren't even ready with the room because we were not giving birth in the house we were staying. The landlord had given us a different beautiful space, bigger, spacious, and we were to prepare that room to get ready for baby coming. So here it is, it's 7 a.m. I just got my first sign that something feels different, and we haven't prepared anything. And so when the second one came, it was intense. I was like, okay, this doesn't feel wild anymore. I mean, mild. This doesn't feel mild anymore. So at this point, I tell Tutu, I think it's on. We are on here. Labor has checked in. So we start to rush, find things. Him is like picking up blankets, things you need for birthing. You need to prepare your room for the whole process. So candles and clothes that we need for the baby, wrapping blankets, so many things. Oh my goodness. So we need to move into the other house. So to start getting busy, I prepare myself some cacao, breakfast in the morning because, you need energy.
You need energy.
Yeah. My friend, when this one knocks, you better have your energy packs ready. So all this time, you remember, I don't know what to expect. This is my first bathing experience. So I'm approaching it with a lot of cluelessness.
Yeah.
And but with total surrender as well. So we quickly start picking up things, and at this point, the pain feels more vivid. Like, wow, it's there. So we inform our midwife, and we tell her that we just started getting like the labor signs. And she says she'll be there in she didn't live very far, so she would be there in maybe 30-40 minutes. So anyway, we migrate to the other house. I let Toto do the setup for me. The only thing I can manage at this point is what I'm feeling. So I don't think I'm in a capacity to even move even a towel. So he does bring everything. He prepares the space, brings in some scent, And then, it was during the day, so we didn't need much of lighting. So the space was very natural with a lot of nature. And at this point, also, he goes and tells the doctor who we were living with, and he had requested also to participate in this experience. And so we told him, and by the time midwife was coming, he had already checked my pressure, and everything was perfect. And wow, that's Dr. Eduardo, amazing Italian renowned doctor. You can Google him, he's a great guy. And so at this point, remember from 7:15 is when things get real. And so between 7:15 and 8 a.m., midwife is still on the way coming, around 40 minutes. And at this point, my friend, it was intense. So I think it's very interesting because I only got into active labor immediately. Usually you have the labor before the active labor when actually the baby is now shifting downwards.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no like preparation where it's maybe or maybe not. It feels mild and then it gets intense. For me, from the beginning, from the first contraction, which was the crampy feeling that was mild, the second one came with intensity, and I actually felt so much difference. The pain, the sensation was there. It was strong. Even the cacao that I had drank, boom, came out. It was intense, my friend. If you guys don't know what a child pain birth is like, they call it labor pain.
Yeah.
My goodness, I've seen men being put on those sensors and they're activated. They make their walls, what do you call it? Their stomach walls contract, and I see men scream. I tell you, labor pain is one of the strongest painful sensations I would say anyone can go through. But now you can take that pain differently, because now what happens is from this moment, from the 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., the pain was intense. By what happens is
We are losing Stella. Maybe it's time for a small break.
pain is
We'll be
energy
back.
flowing, and this is your body
We
contracting.
gather here to speak, to remember, to question, to build. Just stories in the shade, truth in every tongue, and courage passed hand to hand. This is where the elders spoke. This is where the rebels whispered. This is where dreamers still return. It's the people's tree. From your hearts to the microphones on your devices, this is Chini ya Mti. Under the tree. All right, we are back with Stella Mwakie, and we are talking about home birth, all the way from Mexico. She traveled and she came back. Here is her story. Stella, it was getting intense.
Point, and my goodness, just the total surrender and allowing for that energy to move through me. I found positions that felt comfortable, and I could manage the whole that whole sensation feeling much better. So I have explained a lot in the masterclass on the positions and like how to help manage the pain through sound, through breath work, because breath matters a lot in a bathing process. Because breath is like your fuel, so it helps to kind of like there are waves. You have like highs and lows. So when the contractions are coming, that's the highs, and when you manage it with your breath, it becomes very, very easy and very manageable. You move through it easily. So from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., intense pain, but no resistance, no tension, just allowing for that energy to move through me. And guess what? Do you know the second hour? And this time, midwife has already arrived. She's come and checked. She's seeing I'm still going through the process, which is okay. It takes time, The whole mentality of like labor takes a long time. So this is just the first hour. So anyway, so the second hour, something shifted. This is now where it gets very interesting. I personally was mind blown. And in this second hour, the contractions started feeling different. It was no longer pain that I had to go through. This time it was ecstasy. It felt euphoric. It was, oh my goodness, it's amazing feeling. So when the contractions, they're still coming, but it's not like, oh my God, no, I am not again,
Yeah.
This time is like primal, it's like an animal, it's like, release, I swear, this was like, wow. For me, like there's no more pain. Like even when the way I was holding on to my partner, when the contractions would come, no, this time is like, I'm good. It's fine.
Yeah.
This is like so much like a release and a word that I would like not to use so much in public. That feeling you get when, when two people are together. So and then, so the whole second hour was euphoric. The contractions were not any more painful. It was more of like a release. It's like primal, when you think of a wild woman giving birth in a forest, or like a cow, or maybe a lion. Yeah, that's that's how it
What
is.
a description. Yeah.
Yes, so it's a wild release that feels very powerful and yeah, very like a earthquake, So by this time, I actually feel a difference. Like I feel like the baby shifts down. Remember, this time it's just me and my partner in the room. The midwife is outside with Dr. Eduardo, and they're just talking and a few things. And I asked my partner to call the midwife because I feel like the baby is down there. So this is the second hour. And then she comes and she's like, baby down where? You just started, my friend. It takes a while. You cannot just say baby's down there. But she says, but let me just check. So Kenna prepares herself and she comes and checks and she's like, oh, the baby is actually here. So it catches her by surprise, and she quickly prepares, to receive the baby. And the doctor comes in, so it's four of us in the room, and yeah, it's still in the pushing process, but it's not feeling crazy anymore. It just feels like ecstasy, euphoric. It's so nice. It's almost like orgasmic. I'll use the word. And then yeah, so in that process, my baby was born between the whole process, the whole labor started at 7 a.m. in the morning on Saturday, and she was born at 9 a.m.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a it was a very short labor, I would say, but I completely acknowledge the whole process of surrender and just having the right mindset, having no fear at all. There's nothing to fear. Like the body knows what to do completely. Like you just need to be a vessel. Just sit. It's like, yes, guys, I know it's not nice feeling, but you just sit. Let it happen, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the whole point. There's nothing to fear. Baby is fine, mother is fine. You just need to let go all these like beliefs that childbirth is scary, it's painful, it's a emergency,
Yeah.
the whole thing that happens in hospital where you feel like, yeah, childbirth is an emergency. It's not an emergency. It's a beautiful divine process. It's actually a portal. Giving a woman is a powerful being. To create a being inside their body, in their body, it's special. That's a special act of service to God. So birthing is a portal, and God created it in a way that it should be very divine and sacred. And if we women just allow that process to just happen through us, then we end up experiencing beautiful childbirthing.
Yeah.
And yeah, the babies come out into this world happily, no trauma, no tension, like jumping, it's bungee jumping here. Yes.
I don't know if I went too far into the future of this story or just a spoiler alert, but this is not long after you brought Kenna into the world. Can you hear me?
This picture here. Do you know this was on in December? This was the 31st, the night before the new year of 2023, and she was only like almost 2 months here.
Okay.
And she was 1 and a few months old here. And this was the night that I actually DJ'd again in a New Year's party, in a private party at home. So I brought her with me together with my partner. She was lying there next to the subwoofer, sleeping the whole night. Yeah, she started going out. I remember we went with her to a festival, an indigenous festival that was happening when she was 3 weeks old. So we broke all the rules and we were out and about. And yeah, this was the first time I was DJing after having her on that night of the New Year's of 2022-23.
We go back to after delivering. I think the experience, because I thought that picture was probably when she was still quite young, because I saw the marks and I was quite interested in them. She came to the world. That's where you are.
Okay. So I don't know. I have there's some few pictures, and now she came, and here I am, happy mother. Oh my God! So when the midwife came and she prepared to receive the baby, my partner was waiting there, and I was in the last phase of bringing her into the world, and for a moment there was a quiet, moment of silence. And then the baby cried. And that was the most beautiful sound I've ever heard personally as a mother. And it's like, wow, it's like a reward, a gift to you. And now, like the whole thing, the whole 9 months journey, here you are, here is the outcome. Such a beautiful thing, such a beautiful experience to just receive and see what has been curating and creating inside of you for these past 9 months. So yeah, here we are, we receive our baby and she's still attached to me, and we spend some time with her connected in that state of mother to baby onto the chest, skin to skin, which is a very important thing because that's how they feel safe, and also you kind of like this is a way they absorb your energy in that state. So sometimes when you give birth in a hospital and they take a baby away, they separate that from the mother by cutting the umbilical cord. It's kind of like a very disconnecting way to kind of like end that birth process, because usually you allow for the baby to even still remain connected with the umbilical cord for some time and let the whole the blood flow from the placenta fully into the baby. And you can cut the cord at some point. And also it's nice to connect with that, the warmth of the mother. It strengthens their immune system because they are now in a different environment. So we had that bonding time with the baby. You can put them on the breast as well. It kind of like also helps with their nervous system. So there's a lot of things that I feel like they are missed in the hospital, especially in like the commercial hospitals where birth is very fast and quick. And then just that time to bond with the mother, and that skin to skin contact is very important. It helps a lot with the nervous system and the immune system and the development of the baby, especially from that point where they come into this new atmosphere. So yeah, we bonded and we connected for some time. We had a beautiful cutting of the cord with fire. We didn't use scissors. because we figured it's I mean from what we've learned, like burning was more energetically disconnecting in a better way than just cutting. People have different ways of doing these things, but
I
it was
have never
beautiful
heard of
too.
that before.
Yeah, burning it with a candle, that was amazing. It was beautiful to watch. It almost felt like a ritual of just disconnecting from this beautiful placenta that has been feeding the baby for the 9 months. And guess what, by the way? Placenta you don't throw away.
Tell me about that.
So placenta, hey, my friend, this is a special creation of God. You cannot just throw it into a dustbin after it has created a baby. It has helped to nourish a baby for 9 months. So it's very densely nutritional. So there's a lot of beautiful, amazing magic inside the placenta. So, and I even hear it in medical facilities. Sometimes they are kept aside and sold to the cosmetic industries because there's particular, I would say, stem cells that are used for the beauty you see,
Yep.
That's why it's a special organ. So usually with the Mexican culture, you repossess your it's kind of like you retake the placenta, and there's many different ways of doing it. There's where you can dry it and put it into powder form and put them in capsules. That's the modern, more consumable way. And there's other ways where in that fresh state where you just receive it, you get a piece of it just like liver, and you add it in a smoothie, and maybe we add some beetroot and carrot, and you drink it with liver, like super strong and potent and nutritious. And then if it's not possible for someone to stomach that, then you can have it dried into even flakes where you can chew. When it's sun dried for some time, you don't even taste anything on it. So yeah, there's a way they do to preserve the placenta and the umbilical cord. There's also ways they put it in a tincture, like alcohol, like nice natural alcohol. They put in the umbilical cord, a piece of it, and then you can use that after 3 years on the baby. It's a very strong immune system booster. So when the baby gets sick, when they're, let's say, 3 years old, you can just give them a drop, just a drop with, like, the way you pick with the eye dropper thing, and just put it in their tongue, and boom, magic, healed. Yeah, it's super medicine. It's a superfood. So you can do that. And also for the woman, you can also soak some placenta into a tincture alcohol and use it in future whenever you want to re-energize or you want to strengthen your immune system in case you're feeling sick. So yeah, it's medicine for your body as well. So for those who don't know, yes, you can use the placenta, your own placenta. It's not a waste, but you can use it for other purposes. I personally blended a little bit of it. It was not easy thing. It was my first time. I was like, oh my God, you have to not make me taste it. So they put like carrots and beetroot, and yeah, just to make it tasty. And I managed to drink, and I was feeling brilliant. I never had any issues after birth.
Yeah,
So,
I was
and
wondering what
yeah.
you did, if you waited for some time or you took it fresh. That's quite
Yeah.
interesting. We've heard lots of things about the placenta and stem cells. Yeah, but I have never gotten the concept, to be honest. And it's quite interesting also hearing about the culture and how people in Mexico do it.
Exactly. So that's Mexico is quite popular with the home birthing culture. The midwife system is already integrated into the medical system, so it's very official. They have ways of certifying home births as well. So it's such a beautiful culture that also dates back into the ancestral times. So they're still practicing that and kind of are connected to that. So for me, that was amazing to experience and be part of this Mexican culture of home birthing. And even the whole other rituals and home remedies with natural plants and medicine, like it's a whole industry, I would say.
Wow. Then you took a rest.
Then I took a rest. As much as I went out with the baby sometime here and there, but usually it's required of the woman to have an incubation period of 40 days after birth. That's the Mexican culture. That's when you have the womb closing ceremony. And because usually they say energetically when you give birth, you left open. It's like this was a space. It's been invaded by a beautiful human being for some time, and now they've come out, so you're left open. It's like hollow, empty. And the way we are as human beings, we are energy. And sometimes when you're left in that open space, you can invite a lot of energies around you, because you're still open. So that's why they encourage for women. It's not mandatory, but I found it to be a beautiful ritual to have that kind of like a symbolic and also physical closing of the body and the womb. They tie you around, they soak you in like beautiful like flowers and like a bathtub with like nice like roses and bougainvillea, everything you can think of like nice beautiful flowers. You soak in. It's like a ritual for the woman, like sovereignty. They do everything till they massage you and they tie you with this like a long cotton cloth where they squeeze from the other end to people and they close your bones because it's true your body actually does open.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you leave it in that state, maybe you realize you can change the structure of your body after giving birth. For some reason, maybe even develop sometimes complications. Your spinal somehow is not aligned anymore. You feel tired. So sometimes maybe it's that misalignment, but the body can close itself as well after birth because it's a natural experience. So there. As for Mexicans, so in 40 days, the woman is able to be taken through that like closing of the womb ceremony. It's so beautiful energetically as well. And from there onwards, you're allowed to continue with your daily lifestyle.
Wow. Wow. Then you stayed in Mexico. You had already showed us this picture of your first DJing session that you had on the 31st of, that was in 2022.
That was in 2022 towards the end and the beginning of 2023.
Life in Mexico after and the healing process. How was it?
Good question. Yeah, for me, that also came as a surprise and also what a great opportunity to experience love from people who you call strangers, I would say, because these are people we do not know. So when we arrived in Tepoztlán and encountering this beautiful community of women and their families, and my partner also got to meet their fathers. So they created this like a bond of fatherhood and motherhood. Mothers are, kind of like supporting this woman who just gave birth. So they were bringing in like meals to me and clothes. I received, I went to Mexico, me and my partner. I didn't have any baby stuff, by the way. Maybe too few clothes here and there because we still couldn't travel as much. So we arrived here, we have nothing for baby. And guess what? During the mother blessing, they bring me so many baby stuff. Oh my God, it was so much to a point that I actually thought that, wow, this is more than what I expected. So it was so much. We had everything. And at the same time, after birth, they supported with like delivering meals, checking and supporting in case I needed any help or like in case I had any questions on how I felt or anything I needed help with the baby. So there was already a community of women. There was a group where you could share all your concerns with them. And yeah, that to me felt already like a miracle, a blessing to be able to be held in such a beautiful community of women and families, and would even like hang out together. We would visit each other's homes with our babies and hang out, because now you realize your parents, you no longer hang out with your single friends, maybe rarely. So
They don't get
you
it.
end up, yes, you end up now becoming friends with parents because you have something in common. So for us, the postpartum journey was beautiful because we were held beautifully in this community with love, with soft and care. So for us, that was very, very smooth. And we are really grateful for having experienced that.
Amazing. We would like to close this chapter, then you can quickly go through the work that you're doing now in relation to home birthing. What is the thing that you're so grateful about this entire process?
Wow. For me, I think it's being the muse, the experience, the vessel, because I actually feel like I went through this birthing experience with so much grace and sovereignty, because I think God wanted me to be an example so that I can share from a point of experience with other women who can also experience beautiful childbirth. So for me, that's what makes this whole journey exciting, that I was able to experience it so that I can also, from a point of experience, share it with other women who would love to curate and tell their birthing story differently, not from a traumatic approach, not from fear, not from tension, not from pain, but beautiful experience of birthing.
Amazing, Stella. I think I would confidently say that this is one of the most interesting interviews I've had in this podcast so far. I'm very thankful. Now, you came back to Kenya. I think 6 months later, you were doing sets in Mexico. I quickly learned of a place called Tulum. If you could quickly talk about that. What is this place?
Tulum. Tulum is a portal. Tulum is home. So after giving birth, we continued living in this place in Tepos land for some time. And then, boom, guess where we needed to go to? Tulum. Why? Because ever since I became a DJ in 2020, I manifested and I dreamt of going to Tulum to DJ there. Ibiza and Tulum was one of the top destinations for me. I desired to go and play. So being in Mexico, and I realized that maybe we needed to go back to Kenya after all, I figured like we cannot leave Mexico before we see Tulum. We're already here. So the idea came up that we might want to go and check out other Mexico cities, and for sure end up with the destination being Tulum, at least even before we exit back to Kenya. So Tulum, we traveled by road, we left, we packed everything, we didn't have much, and it's still in our suitcases, and maybe a few other things we had brought and maybe accumulated with time. And then at this point, we had already bought a car. So we stopped commuting. When you get a baby sometimes, means of transport matters a lot. It becomes a necessity. So we got a car and we parked the car and we started traveling from this side of Mexico all the way. It was a 1 week journey to Tulum.
Oh, wow.
By the road. Yes.
Tulum, is that in Mexico?
Yeah, that's in Mexico. It's in Quintana Roo state, which is the south. It borders the Caribbean as well. And yeah, it's the south of Mexico. It's the Caribbean side. Beautiful, beautiful beaches and the jungle. This is where the Mayans landed. This is where they originated from. And in the Yucatan. So it's
I'm
a
just
very
hearing Greek, but I was just about to say at least I can relate with Jeremiah. Okay, continue. Sorry.
so Tulum, here we come. My goodness. At this point, we are actually living on our last money and our last savings. So because we're still not with any employment for the last past 1 year, we've been there. So we're just living, and we didn't have any source of income with my partner at that time. So we moved to Tulum as we get ready to go back to Kenya because gonna come back and continue life, you know. And we arrived in Tulum. Oh my goodness, it's one of the most expensive places to live in Mexico. But since Stella wants so badly to arrive in Tulum, because I mean it's been a dream, we still go ahead and do it. So we end up like finding a basic flat with our last savings, and you take a 6 months contract, you can get a house for less than that. So we fix ourselves for 6 months in Tulum.
Wow.
And here it's no longer the same. The other town was more was a bit convenient in a way, but here everything is doubled the prices. So we are like, I don't even know how we're gonna get to the 6 month, but yeah, we will
The
manage.
contract
So
is set.
the contract says that. So Tulum is a beautiful destination. There's lots of wellness practices and retreats. It attracts a lot of spiritual seekers, and people who are seeking like a wellness and holistic, I would say, ways of living and healing. So, and also it's also a destination for festivals. There's a big festival, it's called the Zamna. So a lot of people come in during the high season, which is around December to January, for big major festivals that you can think of, like thousands, millions of people. So yeah, it's a very, very fascinating destination for tourists, and beautiful beaches as well. And then and not too commercial, and with beautiful architecture and nature, lots of beautiful nature as well. And it's a hub for DJ as well because there's lots of electronic music. That's what mainly the town is built upon, electronic parties. So that's
Which is
why I
your
was
forte?
yeah, which is why I was attracted in the first place. And here we arrive. I start connecting and networking, finding opportunities to DJ, and continuously I start hosting my Mambo Jango experience in one of these beautiful like rooftop restaurants, and with beautiful like sunset. Oh my God, they have amazing, beautiful sunsets and rises over the jungle. So yeah, we continued stay there. We managed what we could in terms of expressing ourselves, our art, and just having a flow of income. Then, just as we were about to exit, because I still remember 6 months, we cannot sustain this for too long. So as we were about to exit, we knew we needed to move houses. So that was on the third month. Me and my partner, we had gone for a date, and happened that someone came to join our table because they knew each other with the partner, and then from that is where the opportunity for a job came, and he seemed to be the person he was looking for, who he needed for an organization. They were developing a community in the jungle, so and Toto is a community builder. So that's how he got a job within the last few months of us leaving Mexico, and that's how we continued staying there even for longer periods. We moved into our home in the jungle, which was the most amazing home I personally have lived in the jungle with nature, so beautiful and like wow. I would say I was very transformed by the time I was living that home after 1 year. And and now I'm back in Kenya. I still have a home in Tulum in Mexico. Uh, Planning to go there in a few months. And I'm so excited. We are here now with the family. My little baby is now all grown and playing a lot, and yeah, connecting also with the Kenyan culture.
3 years later. Really amazing. So you have this course you are offering. Walk us through this as we bring this to a close.
Ecstatic Birthing Masterclass. Yeah, this is a masterclass for women to reclaim their birthing power because we have it inside of us. And birth is not meant to be a painful experience. Birth is not meant to be an emergency. Birth is not meant to be something to endure. It's something that we're supposed to just surrender into and just fully experience in a beautiful, magical way. And this is through mindset shift and through the whole preparation of getting into the birthing portal. And this is how the masterclass came to be. And I've really explained into detail with the videos and tools for the woman to understand how they can step from fear to trust to have their beautiful, magical birthing experience. So this whole masterclass has been packaged to address that. And I'm so grateful to have been able to put it together and share it with the women in the world so that we can rewrite the birthing stories. It's never meant to be traumatic, painful, or yeah, horrible. These horrible birthing stories we get to hear about. No, it's not that's a belief system that we need to break from because birthing is meant to be beautiful. I personally had a beautiful, amazing birthing experience, and I think any woman who's ready to drop that fear can also go through that same experience. And with that website, the www.ecstaticbirthing.com, you will find the course there. It's on a very package and a fair price. And yeah, it's just a click away from getting to a woman who's ready to experience a magical, beautiful birth.
Amazing. I have to say thank you. The website is Ecstatic, you said. Sorry, that word is very slippery. Maybe we'll add it to the link. I'm trying to look for the link, but I can't seem to find it on our earlier chats. But we'll find a way to share it with the viewers as well. But this has been really amazing, Stella. I think I go home with lots of lessons. One thing that I've been reflecting upon as we have this discussion is, see, when I look even at my community, our traditional experiences, all those things that you're talking about, there are things that, you wouldn't think about once you think about giving birth in hospitals or the medicinal part of things. But we used to have, they used to have a ram that is slaughtered by women. A woman used to drink animal fat to cleanse. They had these rituals as well. And it's so amazing to hear these stories and hearing these experiences and the cultures that come together to usher in life into the world. And it's just amazing. I still can't wrap my head around how much letting go it takes to leave Kenya, going all the way to the northern part of Africa, meeting different people, finding yourself in Mexico, almost delivering, and then finding random people there and being welcomed by a community and just letting things flow and things actually flow. I think it's such a wonderful story. And I would like to encourage everyone, it's something that I'm learning also, sometimes you let go. I'm not telling you to risk everything, but I think it's just nice to let go of things sometimes. So, asante sana, Stella. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jeremiah. Yes, when you let go, things flow. So I think I am a witness of how surrender makes the universe just do its own thing in its own magical ways. Sometimes not what we know. Sometimes it's being surprised by life. And for me, the whole Mexican journey was, yeah, being surprised by life because I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
So I just allowed for it to happen. And I'm grateful to have gone through that and also to be able to share this story with you.
I think it's about time to say goodbye. Any last words apart from the ones you just gave us?
Wow. Yeah, I would say that children are beautiful, and how we bring them into this world matters a lot in who they become. And from the moment the woman surrenders and drops the fear and lets go any control, and especially during birthing, then that's when magic unfolds. And I think any woman is able to do that if they accept and they allow to shift their mindset from what they already know into the state of being so empowered, because it transforms you as a woman as well. It gives you power. Your capacity to endure and to, yeah, go about life is determined by how you handle the pain as well. So for me, it has transformed me, it has strengthened me, it has brought a lot of awareness onto how I give birth in future as well, and also in how I raise my children as well. So yeah, this is a beautiful thing for a woman to embody, because you're a powerful being. Everyone is a powerful being. And the moment we can accept that, acknowledge that, and embody it, then birthing becomes, wow, beautiful.
Thank you. Let's say goodbye. It's never going to end. It's really amazing. This is Chini. My name is Jeremiah Kipainoi. Please support as we move on. Today we had Stella Mwakie, multi-talented, creative, and someone who walks with you in welcoming life to this world. So I'll leave the details down below, and we hopefully will be able to hear from Stella again. Kwaheri for now. This is Chini Yamti. My name is Jeremiah Kipaine. Kwaheri. We gather here to speak, to remember, to question, to build. Just stories in the shade, truth in every tongue, and courage passed hand to hand. This is where the elders spoke. This is where the rebels whispered. This is where dreamers still return. It's the people's tree. From your hearts to the microphones on your devices, this is Chini Yamti. Under the tree.